Hello everybody, the final part of my Rum Bones second tide Kickstarter unboxing video is here. This is all the extra miniatures that you can get for the game, as well as an upgrade kit for Season 1. So it's going to be quite a lengthy video because there's quite a few miniatures to get through. So the first thing we'll do is we'll check the Season 1 upgrade kit, and then we'll move on to the other miniatures. So I'll just put all these aside for the moment, and bear with me a sec. I know I should have put a pause in here, but never mind. Okay, so this is the Season 1 upgrade kit. All this is just, there's no miniatures inside. It's just updated cards for all the miniatures that were released for Season 1. So it includes updated character cards, updated action cards, that sort of, the sort of thing I'm talking about. It's pretty standard fare. I'm not going to bore you with it by getting it all out, but you get an updated second tide tracker, and then here's all your cards inside. So you've got your token for your Kraken, which if you've got the miniature you won't need. Here's all the character cards. I say I'm not going to get them out and show them, but again, absolutely awesome artwork. That's all your action cards, and obviously these action cards here for all your heroes that have been released, and you do get some updated tiles as well. So that is what comes with that pack. So I'm not going to bore you with getting that out. It's pretty standard fare sort of stuff. What you want to see is the miniatures. So the first thing we're going to take a look at, we'll take a look at the mercenaries. Now you got set number 3. Set number 1 and 2 came with the original game. So these are you've got sets 3 and 4 here that come with the second tide. So I'll put a little pause in here and we'll take a look at what's in this box. Okay, as with all the other little miniature expansions packs, you get your cards for your heroes and your gunners and that sort of thing, with level 1 on one side, level 2 on the other. Seen it all before. So we'll go through the miniatures now. So I'll just go try and make sure that I can get the quality of the miniatures in on this video. So this is Captain Hells. So these are all the mercenaries. I'm using the light from the window to try and focus on these miniatures, because the light on my camera will run out after 15 minutes. It's just a safety feature with the camera. So that's him. Next we have a swashbuckler, which is Sebastian Lovell. As with all the other games, miniatures in the games, these are used to replace other miniatures in your faction, so you can mix and match your own sort of little group to how you want it. Next up is a gunner, which is Victor. Quite a cool looking character actually. This is probably one that I might use as a gunner. And if you can hear that, that's an ice cream van in the background, even though it's not very warm here today. Hopefully he'll shut up in a minute. Next up we have the quartermaster, which is Belle Rose. Nice looking mini. In hand, they're a lot better than what they're looking on the cameras, as with all things really. Again, I apologise for the lack of quality on the camera work and seeing the miniatures. It's just a really dull day here today. This is the Brute, which is Eric the Beastly. And this is a lovely miniature. Guess you could say it's the Beast from Beauty and the Beast, because he's even got the candlestick. But that is how this guy will be painted up. He's a lovely looking miniature. So that's the Mercenaries promo set number 3. Put another pause in here, and the next batch will be the Mercenaries promo set number 4. Okay, again as all the other sets, you get your little deck of cards with level 1 and level 2. Nothing new there, apart from obviously what they do. And we'll move on to the miniatures. Yes, I know this is very quick and not very professional, but there's a lot to get through. So this is the captain, this is the man in charge. Obviously it's Nick Fury from the Avengers. Interesting, but there's a lot of quirky sort of characters in this game. Again, another nice looking miniature. Next up we have the swashbuckler, El Gancho, which is obviously Vega from the Street Fighter series. Definitely some weird choices here for their figures, but that all adds to the fun of it, I think. Next up we have Maelstrom, the gunner, and this looks like it's something from Gears of War. Could be wrong, but that's the way I see it anyway. Penultimate one for this box is Papa Morte, the Quartermaster. I really need to get a good setup for videoing, for lighting and all that sort of thing, but I'm no expert. Just a guy in his bedroom with a mobile phone videoing his board games. Yep, there's that one. And the last one for this set is the Brute, which is Coulter McSwain, which, as you can see, is Terminator. So it's Arnie has finally made it into one of my board games. So yeah, there you go. That's the Mercenaries promo set number 4. Put another pause in here, and the next one we'll take a look at is the Tusketeers Hero Pack. Okay, yet again, your own little pack of cards. Level 1, level 2, blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah. And we'll move on to the main thing you want to see, obviously, is the miniatures. So we have a Brute this time. There's no captains in this pack. We just got Brutes, swashbucklers, and I believe gunners. So the first Brute is Porkos. It's obviously, these are orcs and goblins and that, and they're based on the Three Musketeers. So I've got to try and find him. There he is. Another large miniature. This is one I'm going to use for the Blautrosch, or well, I can't remember if that's the name of the group, but the orc faction anyway. This is one of the guys that I will be using with that. I'll be swapping him out. Really lovely miniature. It's going to look awesome when he's painted. Got etchings on his sword there as well. Nice miniature. Here we have one of these swashbucklers, which is Athork, which is obviously Athos. And that's Porthos, Athos. Hopefully I can find miniature. Yes, this looks like this could be him. It's just the other way around from the picture on the card. I can't apologise enough for the lack of quality of seeing the quality on the miniatures, but I can assure you the quality is there. It's just getting the lighting right is really awkward. Another one of the swashbucklers. This is Orcamus. And I'm assuming this is him. I think I'm just getting a delivery coming to the front door, so I might have to pause in a minute. This is another of these swashbucklers, Gobbling Nan. And here's Minnie. Come on, focus, thank you. And I believe finally for this set is a quartermaster, and it's Milady de Winter. And her Minnie. So that's the Tusketeers Hero Pack. The next one we'll take a look at is the Captain's promo set. Again, little pack of cards for these guys. They're not all captains in this set. I believe there is one brute as well. So the first captain we'll take a look at is Davy Jones. And his miniature, if I can find it, is this guy. Obviously this is one based on the Pirates of the Caribbean character from those movies. The next captain we have is Iron Claw. And his miniature. Sorry about the shakiness on the camera. And my dirty fingers. A hand model I will never make. So that's him. The final captain in this set is Aurelio Voltaire. It's quite a good looking one actually. There's just so many choices you can have for what characters you want to use in the games. It's limitless really. So I say the best way to do it, if you want to do it like that, is the way I'm going to play it is I'm going to mix up all the factions and all the characters, and I'm going to just draw them at random for people when they play it, so they never know who they're going to get, and that is the faction that they have to go with. It's just a good way of learning. I think I mentioned this before in a previous video, but it's a good way of learning how to play each of the factions. That way you're not just sticking to one faction all the time. And of course, when you play against that faction as well, if you've already played with that faction, you get a fairly good idea of the tactics that the other player could be using for that faction, and it gives you a better chance of winning. Anyway, on to the final one. This is the Brute, the only Brute in this set, and it's the Terrible Tink, which I'm assuming is based on Tinkerbell, but I could be wrong. I'm only going on the name. But she's got the wings, so I'm assuming, yes, it's Tinkerbell. You do have Peter Pan. They were in the previous set with the first season, and Captain Hook, and I've also got TikTok, which I think I did in the video part 1, part 1.5 or part 2, I can't remember, but he is on that video. Sorry, I'm babbling on a bit here. Yep, so that's the who's that? That's the Captain's promo set. The next set we'll take a look at is the Cutthroats set. Okay, this is the Cutthroat set again with the little pack of cards. We'll not bother with those. We'll move on to the miniatures. The first one is the Captain. It's Bluebeard. And his miniature, if I can get him out. Here he is. Little bits of black on there. I'm assuming that's come out of the mould. But another thing I like about these miniatures is there's not a lot of cleaning up to do on them. You don't get a lot of mould sort of sticking off of them. So they've done a really good job of making sure that when they send you the miniatures, they are pretty much ready for painting, which is always nice. Then we have a gunner, which is Selena. Very sexy. And this is the first time I've really had a good look at these miniatures as well on this video, so I'm seeing them as you're seeing them. Let's get into focus. Nice looking mini. Next we have a swashbuckler, which is Jane Doe. I'm assuming these are based on characters from books and films and things like that. I don't know who's who. You can make up your own minds, but I'm getting that sort of idea that that's what they're based on. Apart from the things like the orcs, of course, they're just generic sort of orcs, really. But yeah, this is Jane Doe. Next up we have the Quartermaster, which is Cersei. Starting to get darker, and let's just get the camera a bit better. Starting to get darker and darker and darker here, so I really do apologise again. I keep repeating myself, but for the lack of visual stimulation on these minis, but it's giving you some sort of idea what you get for this game. And finally, for the Cutthroats pack, we have the Brute, which is Lubu. Hopefully as it turns into the light you can get a fairly good idea of what the quality is like. So yeah, that's that one. The next pack will be the Fairy Tale Hero Pack. Okay, this is quite a fun little pack, Fairy Tale pack. You will recognise these from Fairy Tales. Two different Fairy Tales actually. So you get your customary cards again. And here we have the miniatures themselves. You've got the Captain. So 3 of these are from the Three Little Pigs. Here's your Captain. I wouldn't have had one of the Three Little Pigs as the Captain, but they've obviously gone with it like that. Here's another of the Three Little Pigs. It's the Quartermaster. It's Mr. Sticks. And finally, for the Three Little Pigs, we have the Swashbuckler, which is Hayworth. You can get an idea of their abilities there on the side, but I'm not going to focus on any of that. It's purely miniatures video. So there he is. The next one we have, which is the Gunner, which is obviously Little Red Riding Hood. Of Quite a nice, sexy looking miniature. And there she blows. Really nice. I quite like this one actually. I've got a bit of a... I seem to lean towards the female miniatures more than anything. I don't know why. But I love the look of the female miniatures. Be great if someone would come up with a board game specifically female characters as heroes and nothing else. Be great if someone would come up with a game like that, because at the moment they're just all mixtures. I don't know what the theme would be, but just an idea of you game designers out there. So that's that one. And the final one is the Brute, which is the big bad wolf, or Big B as he's called. So you can either be the big bad wolf from the Three Little Pigs or from the Snow White story. Not too keen on this miniature. For the big bad wolf I would have picked something a bit better, but especially as a Brute I would have had him bigger. But never mind. Can't have it all. So that's the Fairy Tale pack. I think that's what it is, yeah. Got 2 more packs to go. The next one is the League of Extraordinary Pirates. So we'll take a look at that one next. Okay, this is the League of Extraordinary Pirates. Again, your little pack of cards. And the miniatures. So we got the captain, which is Dorian the Vane. Moving back a bit so the light from the window can show up a little bit better. So it would have been better with the light on the camera, but as I mentioned, it only lasts about 15 minutes and then it's gone. Next up we have the gunner, Locksley. Which is obviously Robin Hood, because it's Robin of Locksley. Nice looking mini. Well, they all are really. Next up we've got the swashbuckler, Taras Bulba. Quite a big mini, this one. These colour for these plastics is quite vibrant. You don't really need to paint them, but as I said in previous videos, it just brings the game to life when they're all painted up. It's getting really difficult now to get the quality on the miniatures for the light. And we have the quartermaster, Dr. Jekyll. So you can gather who the Brute's going to be. Here's Dr. Jekyll. Let's move it up there, it's a little bit better. There's Dr. Jekyll. And the Brute is obviously Mr. Hyde. I would have gone for a bigger miniature for Mr. Hyde, but never mind. So yeah, that's that one. We've just got one more pack to go through now, which is the Sea Monsters pack. And that'll be it for this Rum and Bones. So okay, with Second Tide, they decided to bring out a few more sea monsters instead of just having the Kraken and the Sea Dragon, I believe it was, for the original one. So they brought out a few more. And the first one is the Siren. I've got to try and find these now in the pack. That's it. So here's her miniature. Not sure how these play in the game, but I'm sure it can't be that good for the people involved when these come out. I think you can actually use these against your opponent. So that's the Siren. Next up we have the Avatar of Poseidon. You've got to have a Poseidon character in Rum and Bones. Again, he'd also be great for D&D gamers. Oh, yeah, that's better. I should have brought them right up to the screen from the start. Or should I scrap this video and start again? Nah, don't think so. Takes too long. But yeah, there's Poseidon. And finally, we have the Shell Cracker. But he's not the only other miniature in this game. I'll show you in a minute. This is the Shell Cracker. Now, for the original game, you've got the Kraken and the Sea Dragon miniatures, and they've just given you another Sea Dragon here. So you can use this one instead. And they've also given you another type of Kraken. And this one comes with 2 sets of tentacles as well, which is a set. And this one. So that's the Sea Monster set, and that finishes off the Second Tide, Rum Bones Second Tide Kickstarter unboxing. So I'll put a pause in here and have a look at all boxes together. So yeah, there you go. That's the final video of everything. I apologise for the bad camera work, bad commentary, bad lighting, bad everything really. But I just really wanted to show you what you can get for this game. So this is a good reference. If you don't know what is available, this would be a good reference video for you. So if you want to get everything for the game, you know exactly what you have to do. As I said in a previous video, there is something else coming out for this Second Tide. It's going to be for retail only. Wasn't on the Kickstarter. It's, I believe, as I said, it's a little faction of Vikings faction, which I would definitely get because I'm a huge Viking fan. And I think there's a promo pack as well, similar to these. That's also coming out for retail, so I'll be keeping my eye out for that, and when they do come out and I buy them, I will do a quick video on them. So anyway, that's my Rum Bones Second Tide unboxing. Hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to comment below, like and subscribe, or click the dislike, it's up to you, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.